Welcome, everyone. I am John Ryan of SportsMemo.com, and I'm going to bring you the Saturday edition, February 5th, NCAA Basketball Daily Dime Show. It's a huge, massive card today. I'm going to give you four best bets that are 3-unit on a 3, 4, and 5-unit scale, with the 5-unit being the max bet. And I'm going to provide the game breakdowns in quick-hitting fashion with advanced analytics, and like I said, the best bets included in these four games. But before I get to that, I want to give you a quick reminder. If you want to get my official all-access NBA and college hoops premium bets for the Saturday card, simply go to my profile page, which is sm.buzz/JR. I have discounted packages that will be up by noon today. I don't have any early college basketball games going early. All of them are from 2 o'clock and on. So make sure you get over there and get these really good deals for as many as 5 picks for $19 over at sportsmemo.com later this morning. So my hot streaks are going pretty good, 18-5 in the Super Bowls over the last 23, obviously. I'm on a 7-2 against the spread run in the NFL playoffs. I'm 3-0 with my 5% max bets in the NFL playoffs. I'm hitting 80% in the NHL with my puck line best bets. And I'm 67% with an 11% ROI, all underdogs in hockey since January the 20th. I'm on a 63% run in the NBA and college basketball the last 25. And that's the reason right there. I have 27 years of experience, and you can have me start working for you as early as noon today over at sportsmemo.com. So it's a great time to be an all-access client. We have March Madness coming up. And Sports Memo is running a special deal, as you can see on the graphic right now. You can lock in all sports, all plays, all access client, including my 5 and 10 unit best bets from now until the Super Bowl 57, which is on February 12th, 2023. You can save yourself over $600 right now. Pay only $699 for the next 300 and whatever it is, 75 days, until Super Bowl 57 is completed. So take advantage of that opportunity. It comes out to less than $2 a day to get my work every single day from now until Super Bowl 57. So it doesn't start when the Super Bowl starts next Sunday. It can start today, and you get that extra 9 days for free. So that'll take care of the introduction here. And do take advantage of those offers over there that Sports Memo is offering on my behalf. We're going to talk Penn State here first. Penn State is on the road playing at Wisconsin. They are about an 8.5-point underdog as we speak right now. And the consensus betting is all over Wisconsin. It's 28% of the bets are on Penn State, 28% of the money. This is my contrarian bet of the day. And that's the reason why he's contrarian, because everybody in the world is on the Wisconsin Badgers here in this matchup. In the Big Ten standings, Illinois is 9-2, 16-5 overall. They are number 1 in the conference, followed by Michigan State at 8-2, 17-4. Purdue 8-3, 19-3. Wisconsin 8-3, 17-4. I kind of think Wisconsin's going to get caught looking ahead here with the game against Penn State. Penn State has one of the best, if not the best, defenses in the Big Ten. They're only 4-6 in conference play, but so is Iowa. It's a very tough conference to play in. Penn State overall is 9-9 on the season, and this would be a huge win for them, especially with the Big Ten Conference tournament looming on the horizon. So the other factors are here. I'll get my trend page up here just momentarily. We have a lot of different trends and angles. Okay, 3. Penn State, as I said, is 9-9 going up against a team that's only lost 4 games all year. But this is a trap for Wisconsin, I feel, and the betting public is on the wrong side. Again, in my opinion, I'm not always right with these things, but I do feel strongly about these 4 plays I'm giving you today. These are not just plays I'm pulling out of a hat. These are plays that I'm actually going to the window with. Penn State is 20-7 against the number when facing excellent ball handling teams that are committing an average of 12 or fewer turnovers per game over the last 3 seasons. They are also 26-13 in road games, facing teams that only force 12 or fewer turnovers per game after the midway point of the season, which is game number 15, and that represents the time when most teams begin their conference action. I do think this game, if Penn State's going to win, is going to go to the under as a reflection of their intense defense. That's just a side thought there. I will not be going to the window with any parlay or a total, but if you like this game and you're leaning towards the under, I'm with you on it. Penn State's 21-9 against the number after 1 or more consecutive over games in games played over the last 3 seasons. They are also 23-10 against the number in road games after a combined score of 165 or more points. And looking at the model here, we do have Wisconsin on a 5-game against the spread losing streak. So the market, I think the market has Wisconsin overpriced, and I think Penn State makes a really close game out of this. Head coach guard of Wisconsin is just 6-17 against the spread after having won 12 or more of their last 15 games while at Wisconsin. That adds fuel to the fire as well. And Penn State here is 12-3 when they make between 32 and 37% of their three-point shots in games played over the last 2 seasons. So we're going to look for them to shoot a little bit better from beyond the arc, but we want them to be in that range because historically that puts them in a great position to win the game. And that also doesn't mean that they are going to play over the total simply because they're making 3-pointers at a 32 to 37% clip. It may take enough threes that this game will definitely stay under, even if they hit 40%. But the play is Penn State plus the 8.5. Let's move on to game number 2. And game number 2 is the Gonzaga Bulldogs are taking on Brigham Young Cougars, and this is going to be a raucous stadium tonight. The Cougars are 6th in the West Coast Conference. This game is going to start at 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time at the Marriott Center. Gonzaga, who, if you follow basketball, you know who Gonzaga is. The Bulldogs are 18-2. 11-8 with 1 push against the number, a 10-10 over-under. They're 2-0 away from home, and 18-2 is a favorite. So BYU comes into this fray as a 12.5-point home dog, where they are 10-1. But the key stats, the metrics here, are all over Gonzaga. Gonzaga is number 1 in scoring offense in the country, averaging 90.9 per game. They're 86th in defense, despite playing pretty darn fast. They rank 23rd in the nation in pace. They allow 65.7 points per game, which ranks 86th in the nation. That sounds horrible, but when you factor in the pace of play, it's actually pretty darn good. They're number 1 in field goal percentage, 53.68%. The free throw percentage has a slight edge to Brigham Young. And of the offensive categories, which there are 15 of them, the other 14 are in favor of Gonzaga. But we're talking about the spread, and is that going to be enough points for Gonzaga or BYU to cover? And I do think it is. And I think the home crowd is going to be a major factor. It's going to be jam-packed, and it's going to be on national TV, and it's going to be very, very exciting stuff in the BYU, the Marriott Center. So against the spread here, we have the Cougars are 11-0 against the spread in their last 11 games as an underdog. And that's a pretty darn good record. The Bulldogs contrast that with a 6-0-1 against the spread record in their last 7 road games. So we have those factors offsetting, but I still lean to the Cougars in this matchup. 17-7. They need this win, obviously, more than Gonzaga does. and Gonzaga just might be walking into a buzzsaw of sorts. Betting against favorites of 10 to 19.5 points that have covered the spread in 5 or 6 of their last 7 games, and it's a top-level team with a win percentage of 80% or more for the season. Betting against those favorites, you're 165 and 100 losses. That comes out to 63.2% winners over the last 5 years, and that supports BYU in this matchup. BYU is also 17-5 against the number in home games when facing teams who average 40 or more rebounds per game on the season. Higher rebounds doesn't mean necessarily a stronger rebounding team. It also has to do with pace, and that's one of the reasons why Gonzaga averages more than 40 boards a game, because of their extraordinary fast-paced style of basketball. So there you have it. I like BYU plus the 12.5 is the second best bet of the show. Moving on to the third pick. This is a major game here for UCLA to bounce back after the loss to Arizona. UCLA is 16-3 on the season. Arizona State Sun Devils are hosting them. They're 9th in the Pac-12, and they are 6-13 straight up, 8-10 against the number, and they are 15-4 to the under for the season. UCLA is 11-8 to the under. This game is lined right now as Arizona State is a 11.5 point home dog. UCLA, who ranks 4th in the country, the total here is 133 points. And again, this is a matchup where UCLA is back to full strength, about 98% full strength. They weren't against Arizona in the previous game that they lost. That was a 4%er win for me this week. So UCLA ranks 47th in the nation, averaging 77.4 points per game. They're allowing 64.6. That's a differential of over 10. Compare that to points per game for Arizona State. That ranks 336th of 358 Division I programs in the nation. They are averaging only 62.2, despite taking 61 shots per game. That ranks 61st in terms of pace. So they don't play slow. They just don't make many field goals in their games. They rank 352nd in field goal percentage at 38.6. And UCLA ranks 119th, making 45% of their shots. So you tell me, I think this is not enough points. And I think UCLA is going to potentially win this game by 20 or more points. And we're supported by a lot of factors in this game. Namely that UCLA, and this is all from the predictive models, they are, let's start with Arizona State. Arizona State is 2-9 in home games when they attempt fewer than 62 shots in a game in games played over the last 2 seasons. They are 8-19 when they allow 40 to 46% shooting in games played over the last 3 years. They're 0-8 when their opponents make between 32 and 37% of their three-pointers in games played over the last 2 seasons. They're 1-9 in home games when they make between 72 and 78% of their free throws in games played over the last 3 seasons. I think there's a very high probability that UCLA will score at least 75 points in this game. And when Arizona State has allowed 75 or more points, they are 36-82 against the number. That is horribly bad. And UCLA, according to the models, is not going to have more than 13 turnovers in this game. And I think that's very reasonable. And Arizona State is 4-14 against the number the last 2 seasons when they force 10 to 13 turnovers in a game. So you can see I'm just piling on UCLA here as the best bet. And lastly, Arizona State is 4-19 against the number in games in which they commit 10 to 13 turnovers on their own in games played over the last 2 seasons. Lastly, UCLA is 56-32 against the spread when they get 45 or more boards. So conceptually here, what we want to see is for them to be on pace to get 45 or more rebounds and on pace to score 75 or more points. If they do both of those, there's a very good chance that UCLA will cover the double-digit spread of 11.5 points. Let's move on to the fourth and final game, and this is the Mississippi State Bulldogs taking on the Arizona Razorbacks at Bud Walton Arena. Set to tip off at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This game is lined with the Arkansas Razorbacks at 5.5-point home favorite. They're 17-5 on the season, 12-1 at home. Mississippi State is 14-7 on the year. They are winless in 4 road trips. That's 0-4. The total for this game is 145. The edges here favor Arkansas on paper, but I think this line's a little iffy, and I like Mississippi State in this matchup. Mississippi State is a team that I think is much better than their record, and there's a lot of factors here that are supporting them. Mississippi State is, let's see here, they are 19-8 against the number when facing good free throw shooting teams that are making better than 72% on the season in games played over the last 3 seasons, and they are an outstanding 91-55 against the spread over the last 20 seasons. After the midway point, in other words, after game number 15, facing teams that are outscoring their opponents by 8 or more points. So this has been a tried and true fact about Mississippi State over the years. No matter who the coach has been, they bring their best when they're playing the best, and that's teams that are outscoring their opponents by 8 or more points. So what else can I tell you here? Mississippi State 21-10 against the number when playing on Saturdays, and that's important because we have our big days on Wednesday and Saturday usually in college basketball. Now the games are kind of mapped out every single day of the week, but on Saturdays, Mississippi State has been money over the years. They're also 14-4 against the number when they have lost 2 of their last 3 games over the last 3 seasons. And we know that Mississippi State has lost 2 of the last 3 because they are coming off a win, a 78-64 win, and cover as an 8.5-point favorite against South Carolina. But previous to that, they lost road games at Kentucky, 82-74, but covered as a 9-point underdog. And at Texas Tech, they lost 76-50 in a terrible game, obviously, and did not cover as 7.5-point road dogs. In this last game against South Carolina, they shot 54%. And the last time they shot 54% was on a road game at Florida. The next game they came and they got a big win by 18 points over Mississippi. 78-60, and easily covered as a 10-point favorite. So I like Mississippi State here quite a bit in this matchup. Lastly, head coach Howland is 48-24 against the number when he's playing on Saturdays in his entire coaching career. And last but not least, we have a 42-21 record. Coach Howland is when facing solid defensive teams that are allowing a shooting percentage of 42% or less after game number 15 in each of the seasons he has been coach at Mississippi State. That's a pretty darn good record right there, too. So I'm going to take Mississippi State plus the points against Arkansas. So that'll conclude our show for today. I appreciate that all of you are taking the time to view this. I hope it was informative. And most of all, I hope that it provides a winning record on the day of at least 3-1 against the spread. So on behalf of Sports Memo TV, I want to remind you to bet with your head and not over it. And may all the wins be yours. Thanks again for watching, everyone.